In the world of Dune, the concept of a promised savior is a recurring theme. Whether called the Kwisatz Haderach, Lisan Al-Gaib, or just the Messiah, it all points to humanity's desperate need for a godlike hero. But with his Dune novels, Frank Herbert explores the dangerous side of this need. Because in the books, this promise turns out to be just a story, a mere tool the Bene Gesserit used to manipulate and control people. They supposedly have the greatest plan, but as with most things in Dune, their true motivations shrouded in mystery. So if you've only seen the movies, you likely have no idea why did they make up such a story. So, what's their master plan? What's behind it all? Well, to really answer these questions, first we need to know more about the Bene Gesserit. The Bene Gesserit is an ancient and mysterious order of women who possess incredible mental and physical abilities. They rose to power after the thinking machines were overthrown, and that was 10,000 years before the events of the books. And with the thinking machines no longer an option, the Sisterhood dedicated themselves to reaching the absolute limits of human potential. Over time, their skills became so advanced that they were often misunderstood as witches. They learned to control their muscles and nerves, their body's biochemistry, and even their reproductive systems. They possessed powerful memories and perception, and even learned to read people's feelings through words and body language. But beyond these amazing skills, they also had some pretty extreme ideas. They believed that humanity's survival depended on understanding both the past and the future, avoiding the repetition of same mistakes. And this desire for the ultimate knowledge led them to initiate a long-running breeding program to produce such a being. The one who can be in many places at once, the Kwisatz Haderach. A super being able to access both male and female genetic memories, essentially looking through all of time with absolute prescience and shape the future for the good of humanity. However, the breeding program was only one aspect of their grand scheme. Like the real-life Jesuits, they also engaged in missionary work and harbored political ambitions. For centuries, they subtly manipulated events from behind the scenes. Their Missionaria Protectiva spread carefully crafted lies and prophecies, manipulating the beliefs of countless people. And the Lisan Al-Gaib, the prophesied savior meant to free the Fremen, is one example of this. A lie to position themselves at the heart of power when their carefully designed Kwisatz Haderach finally arrives. So think of the Kwisatz Haderach as the tool and the Lisan Al-Gaib as the social position that tool is meant to fill. At its core, they are the same thing. At the beginning of the story, Paul seems like he could be the Kwisatz Haderach. However, his mother, Jessica, had already ruined the Sisterhood's plan long before his birth. Because in the final step of their breeding program, their plan was to breed the daughter of Duke Leto Atreides to a Harkonnen male, which would produce the superhuman. This plan would have seen the end of the centuries-old feud between House Atreides and House Harkonnen, and also placed a prescient Bene Gesserit-controlled male on the Golden Lion throne. But because of her love for Duke Leto, Lady Jessica disobeyed them and gave birth to a son instead of a daughter, Paul. So from the very beginning, Paul's existence was a mistake. He wasn't the intended Kwisatz Haderach. Yes, he had the prescient powers they anticipated, but he was essentially a generation too early, more of a stepping stone towards a greater superhuman being. The Bene Gesserit believed that the Kwisatz Haderach, with his ability to access genetic memories and perceive potential futures, would possess inherent wisdom, empathy, and philosophical understanding. They envisioned him as a near-Platonic ideal ruler capable of wise and just leadership. However, Paul was jaded, cynical, and traumatized. He was a teenager driven by vengeance. His visions weren't of bright futures, but of war and endless conflict. He was burdened by his own anxieties and fears. He clearly wasn't free from the flaws and desires that make us human. But in the end, even if it wasn't Paul, they achieved their goal of producing the Kwisatz Haderach in his son Leto. He was the one they were truly waiting for. But even with him, do they get the future they truly wanted? The answer to that lies with the Golden Path. Basically, the Golden Path is the only hope for humanity's survival. In the books, it was a path Paul refused to take because it meant sacrificing too much, including his own humanity. He couldn't bring himself to abandon the person he was or leave behind Cheney. And this choice ultimately meant he was never the true Kwisatz Haderach. On the other hand, his son Leto embraced this destiny. He became a sterile, seemingly immortal sandworm human hybrid, a terrible mix of hero and tyrant. His prescience became extraordinary. He saw not only the future, but the present across the vast reaches of the universe. This, combined with knowledge gleaned from his genetic memories, gave Leto the aura of omniscience and unstoppable power. To trillions of beings, he was nothing less than a god. But in the end, what was truly gained? Yes, humanity survived, but to what end? At this point, maybe we all should try to understand what Frank Herbert was really trying to tell us. After all those struggles, the crossbreeding for superhumans, the rise of saviors and tyrants, or the attempts to control the universe and its secrets, what remains? Yes, the Fremen won their freedom, and Arrakis bloomed again. But elsewhere, the cycle continued. Wars erupted, lives were lost, and worlds crumbled. Maybe Frank Herbert understood the core of human nature long ago. Maybe that's why he wrote these words. The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience, a process that cannot be understood by stopping it. We must move with the flow of the process. We must join it. We must flow with it. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I'd really appreciate if you could leave a comment, give a like, and click to subscribe. Your support will greatly help the mysterious algorithm works its magic. And if you want to support me personally, you can join the channel by using the join button. See you next time.